السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. عندنا الآن الدرس العشرون. So we're now on lesson 20 and إن شاء الله تعالى كالمعتاد سأقرأ النص ثم أبين ما فيه من القواعد. So here, starting from here. كم سورة حفظت يا بشير؟ حفظت سورة واحدة. وكم سورة حفظت يا عمر؟ أنا حفظت سورتين. يا أبتي جاء اليوم مدرسان جديدان، أحدهما للفقه والآخر للحديث. يا أبتي قرأت اليوم كلمتين جديدتين في هذا الكتاب. ما هما؟ هما المشط والمخدة. أعرفت معناهما؟ نعم، سألت المدرس فشرح لي معناهما. أنا الآن أذهب إلى السوق، أتريدون شيئا؟ أريد دفترا، عندي دفتران وأريد دفترين آخرين. عندي ملفان صغيران وأريد ملفين كبيرين. من أين لك هذا القلم الجميل ذو اللونين يا بشير؟ اشتريته. بكم اشتريته؟ اشتريته بريالين. Jamil. So in this lesson, there's a number of things, not too much to learn, but of the things to be learnt in this lesson is, as I mentioned last lesson, we're going to start learning the jewel soon. So now we are learning the jewel pattern. Now, as you can see here, kam, we've learnt kam before. Kam is a adawat al-istifham, is from the tools of questioning, okay? And it means how much or how many, and a noun that comes after in Arabic is called tamyiz, the clarity of that which is ambiguous, the specifying noun. So we say how many, okay, how many what? So what comes after is a clarification of that. It's singular, it's not plural, it's not dual. However, it's indefinite, it doesn't have alif and lam, it has tanween, but it's mansub, it takes fatha, okay? And when we translate it as plural. It says, we don't say how many a surah have you memorized, we say how many surahs have you memorized. Okay, so Bashir, he said, Ana hafidtu suratan wahidatan. But as for Umar, he says, Ana hafidtu surataini. Okay, surataini. So basically, that is the dual noun. The jewel of a noun, we either add to the end of the noun alif and noon or ya and noon. The time we add ya and noon is when it's supposed to take fatha or kasra if it was a singular noun. So here it says, Ya abti, ja al-yom. Today came mudarrisani, two teachers. Jadidani, two new teachers. Okay. Huma is the plural for jewel, like huwa is for him, huma is for both of them. So ahaduhuma, one of them, wal akhar, and that means the other. So one of them and the other. Okay, so mudarrisani, as I mentioned, to make a noun jewel, we either add alif and noon or ya and noon. So here, ana hafidtu, because the surataini is the object of the verb, this is why it takes ya. Because if it was ana hafidtu suratan, it would take fatha. But the jewel, it doesn't take fatha, it takes ya instead. Okay. Now here is the fa'il, it's the object of the verb, the doer of ja'a. So it takes alif instead of dhamma. So if we said ja'a mudarrisun jadidun, but here is two teachers, so we say mudarrisani jadidani. Okay, just like it says here, Ya abati qara'tu al-yawma kalimataini jadidataini. Okay, so huma again is the plural, the pronoun. So that is just the main things that we have learnt, that we'll be learning in this lesson, the jewel. Okay, so here it says أجل الأسئلة الآتية, answer the following questions, again based on this text. And here it says تأمل ما يلي, ponder over what follows. المرفوع means nominative, i.e. this is a case of i'rab. Now, what does i'rab mean? This refers to the grammatical analysis of words, i.e., what is the vowel sound of the last letter of the word depending on what has preceded it in a sentence. Okay, so al-marfu', this means a noun takes dhamma or something equivalent that represents dhamma, depending on the type of noun. We will study this in great detail in Medina Book 3. So جاء المدرس. So مدرس is marfu', it takes dhamma. Why? Because it's the doer. The doer word is always marfu'. جاء المدرسان. But what you need to ponder over now is what? The singular is مدرسو. The jewel, al-muthanna, is al-mudarrisani. So alif represents that the noun is marfu', okay, in the jewel usage. Al-mansub, which means when it takes fatha or its equivalent, رأيت المدرسة, I saw the teacher. And here al-mudarris is the object of the verb. رأيت المدرسين, I saw the two teachers. So here the sign of fatha is the mudarrisaini. Now majroor, i.e., it's what takes kasra or its equivalent. So ذهبت إلى المدرس, because of إلى المدرس. ذهبت إلى المدرسين, I went to the two teachers. So here in the jewel, majroor and mansub both take ya. Okay, so that's the important thing to know about the muthanna, which is the jewel. Al-muthanna means the jewel too. So here it says أجب الأسئلة الآتية مستعملا المثنى. Answer the following questions using the jewel. Using the jewel. Again, you should refer back to your vocab bank as well. But just to show you something, I'll answer the first question for you because it's a different kind of noun. So it says كم أخا لك. How many brothers do you have? So you would say li, because it's relative. We wouldn't say عندي. li أخواني. أخواني. And that is because it's a two-lettered word. So when we make it dual, we add the waw. We add the waw. And we do the same thing with ab. Abun becomes abawani. Abawani. Now, when we say abawani, this means both mother and father. So they want you to answer all of these questions using the jewel, inshallah ta'ala. And we'll continue to the next page to see the other exercises to practice this new concept that we have just learnt, inshallah. So as you can see, exercise number 4 again, أجب الأسئلة الآتية المستعمل المثنى. Well, number 5, same thing. So here they are really emphasizing you practicing the usage of the jewel, okay? Emphasizing the practice of using the jewel, al-muthanna, which is the jewel. So as I mentioned, it takes either alif and nun at the end, ani or aini, depending on its case. So you need to really refer back to the exercise that shows you marfu', mansub, majroor, and make sure you answer it with the correct case, Depending, is it a verbal sentence? Is it an object? Is it coming after a preposition? So again, answer all of these questions using the jewel. And let's say you don't understand. Look at the answer book. It's not cheating. Look at the answer book. If you get stuck and you cannot figure it out, look at the answer book to assist you, inshallah. Okay. Here, number 6 is ثني الكلمات التي تحتها خط. Make the words that have an underline, that are underlined, make them jewel. So في بيتنا ثلاجة. Now you need to make this jewel. How are you going to make this jewel? دخل الدكان البارحة لص. List is a thief. So last night a thief entered the shop. Okay, so now again, listen, how you gonna make this jewel? So the nouns that are underlined, you need to make them jewel. ثني يعني make them مثنى, jewel. Here it says اجعل كلا من الكلمات الآتية في جملة. Place all of these words, these 4 words in a sentence. Number 8. تأمل الأمثلة الآتية لأحدهما أو لأحدهما. It should be أحدهما والآخر. أحدهما والآخر. So here أحدهما, this is based on if the nouns are masculine. أحدهما, one of them, والآخر, so one of them and the other, one of them and the other. This is how we use them. So لي أخواني, I have two brothers. أحدهما طبيب, one of them is a doctor. والآخر مهندس. So when we go to the next page, we'll see this is also continued. So make sure you understand the vocab. Translate them if you want, it also helps. But this is to ponder over the usage of أحدهما والآخر, one of them and the other, when the nouns are masculine, as we'll come to see in the next page when what happens when they are feminine, inshallah. So here's the rest of the sentences for the usage of أحدهما والآخر. Then we have تأمل الأمثلة الآتية لإحداهما والأخرى. So again, just like we learned أحدهما والآخر, إحداهما والأخرى, this is the feminine form. One of them and the other. إحداهما والأخرى is the feminine way to use it. So this is going to be used with feminine nouns. So again, read these sentences, understand the vocab, translate them also if it helps. And here it says تأمل الأمثلة الآتية, ponder over the following examples. هذا القلم ذو اللونين مفيد جدا. So here ذو اللونين, so ذو because it's masculine, لونين, اللونين, the two colors. Again, this is alif and lam because the qalam is alif and lam. If the noun that it's referring back to is definite, then this will be definite. If it said هذا قلم ذو لونين without alif and lam, if it was indefinite. That's just a point to mention. I'll just write that example down quickly. If we just said, for example, هذا قلم, okay, there's no alif and lam, it's indefinite, then I would say ذو لونين without the alif and lam, like this, okay. But when it has alif and lam, as you can see, then it has alif and lam. But the point to mention here is not that. The point to mention is the following: that is the feminine of ذو, okay. So yes, so المدير في تلك الغرفة ذاتي. This is ذاتي because the غرفتي is majrur, takes kasra, so ذاتي also takes kasra. However, if it was ذو, if it was, for example, في ذلك البيت ذي, في ذلك البيت ذي, okay, we would use ya instead of wow, it would be the, okay. But as for the feminine, then the vowel sound is only on the ta, either fatha, kasra or dhamma. So the feminine of dhu is dhatu, okay. So it's going to be like this. You have sorry, wrong pen. You have dhu, which becomes dhatu. You have the, if it's meant to take kasra, which becomes dhati. And you have the, if it's meant to take fatha, which becomes dhata. Okay, so that's the usage of the feminine version of dhu. And that's the end of this lesson. The main focus is the dual noun. So again, if you need to watch it over again, then do so to make sure you understand. But read every single sentence. Ponder over the meaning and learn the vocab, inshallah ta'ala. And I shall see you in the coming lesson. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.